Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm from amandacrochets.com, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this easy Suzette washcloth. Now you can also use this as a dishcloth, but I'm intending to use it as a washcloth and putting it together with some other baby items. So I came up with this as I recently made a Suzette's baby blanket as well as a Suzette hat, and during the colder winter months I came up with a Suzette scarf, so it's only fitting that I make another project with the ever popular Suzette stitch. This stitch is also known as the thicket stitch, and it has this nice little texture to it, and it's very similar to some other stitches that I enjoy, such as the sedge stitch and the blanket stitch. And I really like that it gives just that little bit of texture to it. So I have this one here in like a kind of like an off pink color, and then I have this one in cream. So just a very pretty stitch. And to have the border of this washcloth or dishcloth, I just ended up doing a simple single crochet border, as I do with a lot of my projects, as I didn't want to take away from the actual stitch pattern itself. I just wanted to keep the border pretty basic and simple to do. The finished dishcloth or washcloth ended up being about 10 inches wide by 10 inches tall. You can certainly customize this to be any size that you wish, depending on the size that you would like, by just changing up the chain at the very beginning. So let's get started with the easy Suzette washcloth. So to start your washcloth or your dishcloth, you're going to need one skein of cotton yarn. I'm using Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton. You can use any cotton yarn that you would like, but this is just what I had on hand. And this is 100% cotton. And it is a 3.5 ounce skein, or 100 grams. It's 180 yards or 165 meters. And the color that I'm going to be using today is called Warm Blush. And this is just left over from that first washcloth that I made. So you could probably get 2 washcloths out of the one skein, depending on how big you make your washcloth. And then you're also going to need a size H or 5mm crochet hook, so a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. So for the Suzette stitch or the thicket stitch, you need to make a chain that is an even number of stitches. So for my washcloth, I ended up making a chain of 32. However, you can always change up the sizing of your washcloth to be whatever size that you like by just making sure that you have an even number chain. So again, for my dishcloth or washcloth, I ended up doing 32 chains. So to make a chain, you're going to do yarn over your hook and pull through. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue until you have 32 chains or your desired chain length. Okay, so once you have your 32 chains or your chain that you would like, you're going to make a single crochet and a double crochet into the second chain from your hook. So the loop on your hook does not count. You're going to count 2 chains from your hook. So 1 and 2. And in that second chain, you're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. So first, to make a single crochet, you're going to insert your hook into that second chain, yarn over your hook, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that is your single crochet. Now in that very same chain, you're going to make a double crochet. So to make a double crochet, you're going to do yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, and that completes your double crochet. Next, you're going to skip 1 chain and in the chain after that you're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet into the same stitch. So again, you're going to skip this next chain, and in the chain after that you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. So again, skip that next chain, and in the chain after that, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that completes your single crochet. Yarn over your hook to start your double crochet, insert your hook into that same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And now you're just going to repeat this all the way down until you have 2 chains left. So again, skip that next chain, and in the chain after that, make a single crochet, yarn over your hook, and then you're going to make a double crochet into that same chain space. Again, one more time, you're going to skip that next chain, and in the chain after that, you're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. Okay, so repeat that across your entire row until you get to 2 chains remaining, and I will show you how to end row 1 and move on to row 2. Okay, so I'm coming up to the end of my row and I have 2 chains left. In that very last chain, you're going to make 1 single crochet. So skip 1 chain, and in that very last chain, make a single crochet. Now your first row might curl up a little bit, which is completely fine, and you just want to give it a tiny tug and everything will kind of even itself out. So this is what row 1 looks like. So to move on to row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. In the very first stitch, you're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. So you're going to skip this chain 1 that you just made. And I forgot to mention that if you are a beginner and you always have trouble with your edges, you can always place a stitch marker in the very first stitch and in the very last stitch of each row, and that will help you understand where each of the final and beginning chains are, or stitches are, and it'll help keep your edges straight. So in that very first stitch right here, you're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. Next, you're going to skip the next stitch, which is your double crochet stitch, and in the stitch after that, which is your single crochet stitch right here, you're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. So skip that next stitch right here, and in the stitch right after that, make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. And this is the start of your repeat. So again, you're going to skip that next stitch, which is your double crochet, and in the stitch after that, which is your single crochet, you're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. Again, skip that next stitch, and in the stitch after that, make a single crochet and a double crochet. And again, you're going to repeat this all the way down until the end of your row, until you have 2 stitches remaining. And when you have 2 stitches remaining, I will show you how to end row 2 as well as move on to row 3. So just continue to skip 1 stitch, and in the stitch after that, make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. Okay, so for the end of row 2, I have 2 stitches left. So I have a stitch right here and a stitch right here. So you're going to skip this next stitch, and in the very last stitch you're going to make a single crochet. And remember to put that stitch marker right at the end so you know what the end of your row is. So this is what 2 rows of the thicket stitch or the Suzette stitch looks like. And as you can see, with your 2 rows, your first row points this way and then your next row points this way. So I like how you have the 2 different stitches pointing in opposite directions with each row, and it just creates that nice little texture. So to move on to row 3, you're going to just make a chain 1 and turn your work. And row 3 is the exact opposite, or is the exact same as your row 2. So you're just going to repeat row 2 over and over again until you reach your desired length. So again, in that very first stitch, you're going to make a single crochet and a double crochet. Next, you're going to skip that next stitch, and in the stitch after that, again, make your single crochet and your double crochet. So you're just going to repeat row 2 over and over until you get your desired length. I ended up making my dishcloth about 10 inches tall, so continue on to your dishcloth or your washcloth until you reach about 10 inches, and I will show you how to move on and make the border if you desire to make the border. Okay, so I have another washcloth that I already made that's about 10 inches long, and I'm just going to start with this one instead to show you how to make the border. Now, for those of you that are wondering, it might be different for everybody, but for my washcloth, I ended up making 28 rows before I reached the 10 inches long. So it might be different for you. You might have 26 rows or 30 rows, but as long as you have around 10 inches long, you should be just fine, unless of course you're making it a different size. So to move on to the border, all you're going to do is simply make a chain 1 and turn your work. And for the border, again, I just made a simple single crochet border. So in that very first stitch right here, which is going to be the start of your corner, I just made 1 single crochet, and then I just made 1 single crochet in each of these stitches across the top of my washcloth. Now again, if you did not want to include a border, you can certainly omit this step, but I always like to add a border because I feel like it really gives the final touch to the washcloth. Now these make great gifts, whether you use them in the kitchen or in the bathroom. That is completely up to you. They work well as a dishcloth to clean your dishes, as well as a washcloth to clean your face. And I'm using these in particular to put together with some other baby items that I wanted to put together as a little kit, with a baby blanket and hat, some baby booties, and these washcloths, as well as another pattern that I hope to come out soon, which is a burp cloth. And I wanted to just put them all together just as a nice little newborn gift set. But you can also put a couple of these washcloths together if you wanted to give this to somebody for a spa day with some other lotions and cleansers and things like that. Or you can put some together in a set for your, for a housewarming party, or if you want to just give it as a gift with maybe some kitchen soap or something like that. So again, it's really up to you. So you want to make just 1 single crochet across the top of your dishcloth or your washcloth. When you get to your first corner, which is going to be right here, you're going to make 3 single crochets in your corner stitch, and this is just going to help round out that corner nicely. So once you have your 3 single crochets in your corner, you're going to work down the sides of your dishcloth or your washcloth, and you're just going to kind of eyeball it, and you're just going to make one single crochet in each of the stitches as evenly as you possibly can. So again, just kind of eyeball it and make one single crochet in each of those stitches. Okay, and then when you come to your next corner, again, you're just going to make 3 single crochets all in that corner space. And then you're just going to work along the bottom of your washcloth, again, just making 1 single crochet in each of the stitches across. So you're going to make 1 single crochet in each of the stitches across. When you get to your next corner, you're going to make 3 single crochets, and then when you work up the side of your dishcloth or your washcloth, you're going to again just make as even as you can 1 single crochet along the side of your washcloth. So when you do that, I will get to the beginning of the washcloth and kind of show you how to end that washcloth, as well as show you the final product. Okay, so I've reached my final corner, and as you can see, you made your first single crochet in that first stitch. So all you need to do is add 2 more single crochets to that very last corner. And then you're going to find that first stitch that you made, and you're just going to make a slip stitch. And then you're just going to cut off your yarn with leaving a tail. Yarn over your hook and pull through and tighten. And that is your Suzette stitch washcloth. So as I showed you earlier, this creates some beautiful texture to it, and you can see that the stitches are just really pretty together. And then when you have that single crochet border, it kind of just makes everything nice and neat looking. So you can make these in a variety of different colors. As I showed you at the beginning, I had this warm blush color, and then I had this cream color. So you can definitely put these together as a set. You can make this in any cotton yarn that you would like. You can make this in self-striping yarn. You can use 2 different colors to make a striping effect. You could do whatever you would like with this, but I just really liked the way that the solid colors looked, and this is the type of yarn that I had on hand. So this is what the Suzette washcloth looks like. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you give this pattern a try, and I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see all future videos by me, and as always, happy crocheting! Bye!